Hey everybody, this is your Ninja Home Away from Home, the place where you'll hear familiar voices of like-minded ladies with awesome stories and inspiring insight. This is the real talk of incredible women who have so much encouragement to offer. This is the unique place where ladies spill it all about self-confidence, body image, and getting through more than just the actual physical obstacles on the course. Welcome to the Ninjababes podcast. My name is Cara, and I am your host and the creator of Ninjababes. Maybe you've seen our Instagram, where Ninja women share and post encouragement and good vibes, or perhaps you've seen a Ninja babe crushing it on the course, rocking one of those pink and gray muscle tanks. Well, Ninjababes is about you, as a fearless, strong, and authentic Ninja woman, being your renegade self, not being caught up in comparing yourself to others. It's about being the one who inspires those around you to keep going, to be brave in your journey, and to be proud of yourself every step of the way. A Ninja babe encourages and empowers other Ninja athletes. Maybe you've struggled with body image or self-confidence on the course, or even just being proud of yourself. Well, I and the women on this podcast are here to remind you that you matter. You possess something that is completely unique to you, and your journey is inspiring. People need to hear your story, so don't give up. Join in on this Ninja Babe Lady Love and subscribe to this podcast so you'll never miss an episode. So you totally win 10 points if you recognize that intro today was actually the original trailer from the Ninjababes podcast published like a year and a half ago. So good job. Congratulations. You're a true Ninjababes fan and you win like a Slurpee or something. So way to be. Hello and welcome to the Ninjababes podcast. I am so excited today to be on the line with the Backyard Ninja Kids, the family. So we're actually with Scott and Lindsey. The kids, unfortunately, aren't actually on the call right now. They're probably like in school or something really important. But we are here with Scott and Lindsey. Hey, how are you guys doing?
We're good.
Great.
Hi.
So good.
Thanks for having us, Cara.
Yeah.
And the kids are on spring break, so that's super important.
That is way more important. That's good. Have you been home doing spring break things, or are they just at the Ninja Gym every day?
We have done a little of both. We were part of the week we were here and hanging out at home and did the Ninja Gym and played at some parks. And then now they're actually with grandparents on a little trip. So they'll be back tomorrow.
That's exciting. I always loved those trips with grandparents.
Yeah.
It was like home away from home and like magical things happened when you were with your grandparents.
Yes. They buy you all the treats and
Yeah, exactly. Tell me what is going on in your world. How is it going? Who are you? In case people have never heard of the wonderful things that your family does, tell us all about it. What is Backyard Ninja Kids?
Wow. Yeah. So Backyard Ninja Kids started in our backyard a couple years back because my kids were a little too shy to play team sports. But they're very active, very athletic. And so we played all the sports in our backyard. And it turned into, building obstacle courses. And I don't remember which came first, watching Ninja Warrior or doing this in our backyard. But right about the same time, we got into both of those. So then we started a YouTube channel and social media account, Instagram, Facebook, called Backyard Ninja Kids. And fast forward a few years, we started getting a lot of following and a lot of interest in the ninja community. And last September, we opened up Ninja U in Iowa, Cedar Falls, Iowa. And it's been amazing to get to know the ninja community and just all the amazing people and support that it has. I mean, it's been great bringing it to our local community even. We just hosted our first competition. So yeah, it's just been pretty cool to see where it all has gone and excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love how I feel like every family, every person who's involved in Ninja Warrior has something different and unique to contribute. So it's awesome seeing your family and, just like all the teamwork, how you work together as a unit. And now you have the gym. It's just very exciting to me. And I love that you're a part of this community.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Before we dive in anymore, quick shout out to our sponsors. Sleep Ovation is an amazing mattress company that is changing the comfort game with their 700 tiny mattresses in one. Sleep Ovation offers a 100-night trial with free returns. They are CertiPure US certified. They're non-toxic, which means you're not sleeping on a bed of harmful chemicals. They're 100% made in the USA and offer free shipping in the US. They are now offering the Ninjababes community $400 off your order if you use code Ninjababes. Or you can use one of the links under the Sleepovation commercials on the Ninjababes YouTube channel, or even tap on the link in the show note details on your screen. This mattress is supportive, comfy, and I look forward to sleeping on it every night because it gives me such great rest. We all know as athletes, we need those precious hours of sleep to help us recover and be ready to crush life and ninja the next day. The technology of this mattress is really cool. Each individual foam piece can press down independently from the rest of the bed, so that helps to alleviate pressure on your joints and muscles because it allows your body to move freely without feeling like you're stuck sinking into the bed or rigid laying on something immovable. This is the ultimate in comfy and genius in its support technology. So tap the link in the details on your phone or check out the Ninjababes YouTube channel and find the link there. When your kids started getting into ninja, when did you sort of realize like, wow, this is something impactful on my family that I want them to keep running after? Like, what was your perspective on it when you really realized that it was something that you all wanted to do together?
Yeah, I think at first it was they're just kind of naturally good at it. So, from a dad's perspective, you initially want to see your kids succeed. I was the kid that, my mom was like threatening me that you're going to have kids like you someday kind of thing. And because I was hanging and jumping and swinging on everything. So pretty cool. Now being a monkey is a sport. So that's pretty awesome. Now that I have kids that are monkeys.
That worked out pretty well.
It worked out great. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But then what really sold me on the ninja community is the camaraderie around it, right? How people are literally cheering for each other, your direct competitor, because they are beating the course that maybe you weren't able to, or they maybe be doing it a little bit faster than you. And growing up, you always taught teamwork, but what about the other team and being fair and it's just like Ninja World. It's like that's just how you do it. You treat others as if they're on your team, and it's just been really cool to see the sportsmanship around that. And that's what really sold me deep into the ninja community from the get-go.
Yeah, that's awesome. Lindsey, when your kids started getting into this, was it something that you also wanted to take a part of? Where you're kind of like, what is going on here? What are my kids
Good
doing?
Question. Well, I have no natural abilities in the ninja world myself, personally. So that wasn't like, oh, let's all do it. It was kind of like, oh my gosh, this is really fun to watch my kids do this. Like, wow, he can climb that rope. And wow, he's hanging from the top of that tree. Should I be scared? People ask me all the time, like, aren't you scared when your kids do that stuff? And I'm like, no, I kind of just trust them now. Like they kind of just are, I feel like they're cats with like 9 lives or something. I don't know. They have never broken a bone even. So we just go with it. And I was excited about it. I think it was something that I think Scott kind of mentioned that our kids weren't really into doing any competitive team sports. We have 3 kids. I should mention this. We have 3 kids. Our oldest is 12. Our second son, so the 2 boys are the oldest, so 10 and 12. And then we have a little girl who is 4. The 2 oldest boys especially, like, were very, very shy as young kids. And so like even attempting to go to like a class or like even, I don't know, like story time at the library was like as much as I could get them to do. And that was if they were sitting in my lap when they were little. So like any team sports where I had to drop them off and leave them or anything like that was just pretty much a no-go. Like we kept asking but we didn't want to push, So it was one of those things kind of disheartening, like, oh, all these other kids are doing soccer and all these other kids are doing flag football. All these other kids are playing a musical instrument and my kids just didn't want to do it. So I almost was like, okay, I guess we're going to have those kids that don't do anything, which isn't bad, but it was just like, okay. But then when Scott figured out this ninja thing and they just loved it, it was great because we could do it at our own pace. We could, at first it was just like when we go on a vacation, we'll go find a ninja gym and Scott did it with them, which made it really easy for them to like feel comfortable since they were pretty shy to begin with. But honestly, these last 2 years, they have come out of their like shy little shells and are so brave and so outgoing now. It is, sometimes I just sit back when we're at the gym and I watch my oldest, who was the most shy of all of them. Like he walks around like he knows everybody in that gym, even though he doesn't. He welcomes people there. Like he plays with kids he's never met before. He's just a totally different kid. And I really think a lot of that is from Ninja. So yeah, we're really grateful for it.
Yeah, that's awesome to see that transformation. And even it's almost like they were waiting for Ninja. It's like, no, I'm not going to do any of these other sports. Like one day, one day Ninja Warrior is going to happen.
One day, and it did, just in the perfect time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, even like they didn't want to do any competitions once we had kind of started Ninja, and then Scott had done a couple competitions and they went and cheered for Dad, but they didn't really want to do any competitions themselves. But now that we had our own gym, they just both did their first competition and it went great. So yeah, they also were both on American Ninja Warrior Junior, the TV show. So that was technically their first competition, but yeah, they were, so that was a really brave thing to do too, but yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. The first competition being on A&W Junior.
Right. Yeah, I still laugh about that. They were so shy. They didn't want to even sign up for a local competition, but
wow.
Which local to us was like 3 hours away, so before we opened our gym. But yeah, their first thing was, American Ninja Warrior Junior. It's crazy to think about. I'm
wondering, did you, I don't know, I guess logically, looking at it as an adult, I would be like, wow, that's scary. The first thing that you're ever going to do is be on TV, like to compete. But what did they say anything? Like, oh, I just want to, like, I want to be on the show, so I want to do this. Or did you, find yourself trying to warn them at all? Like, hey, this is like a big deal. Or did you just try to not make it a big deal so that they wouldn't think it was a big deal? Yeah,
I think we tried to, speak truth into them, say, this is a big deal. This is somewhat scary and intimidating, but you're going to get out there and you're going to have some fun. And as long as you can just, have fun, it'll be great. And I knew the spirit of competition and the adrenaline would kick in as soon as that, buzzer chimed, and they would just take off and they wouldn't think about it, But yeah, I think they definitely were very intimidated and scared at first. But again, the camaraderie around it and people just letting loose, having fun behind the scenes really helped as well.
Yeah, I think always that helps. Just ninjas being ninjas, climbing on stuff you're not supposed to, or just, just being relaxed, being funny, like being ourselves, I think helps so much, especially during filming or big competitions when you're trying to like be in the zone, but also like not freak out and just be like collected and ready to go. I think the community is just so amazing how, like, I remember the first time filming for Philadelphia, my first year last season, like everyone was getting so like hyped and ready, but everyone was excited and everyone was just like cheering each other on, like, oh, you got that obstacle, or like, yeah, you can do this. And just the way that people support each other is insane and like mind-boggling. And that's for sure the reason why I stuck with Ninja and why Ninja has like impacted me so deeply, is just like how much people like care, and Ninja becomes a part of your mentality. It's like I find myself in other areas of life just like wanting to support the people around me and like wanting to, look at things with strategy. And like before I never did that. So even just, problem solving and like thinking about how to better tackle like problems and things in my own like day to day. I feel like I attribute all of that to Ninja.
Yes. Us too. We have a saying that we say like in our house, like if, say there's an issue going on. I'm trying to think of an example. Like, our son, maybe one of our kids is having a hard time, like disconnecting from screen time, like he just can't put it down, and we're realizing it's becoming an issue. And so we have this thing that we say, it's not us versus you. We're not trying to be mad at you. It's our family versus the problem. And it's so much what Ninja is too. Like it's this whole team of people trying to figure out the best way to complete the obstacle course, like it's so fun that way. And I love that transfers to real life. Like you said, that's great, Cara.
That's really cool. I like thinking about it that way too. Like it's us versus this problem. It's like if only the whole world could be that way.
Right.
Yeah. Ninjas for president. That's what we need. Who wants to go?
Yep. There we go. Cara for president.
All right, not Cara, but how about I nominate like Grant McCartney or somebody like that? So tell me more about your gym. Like I know it's pretty new still, right? When was your opening?
September.
September. Wow.
Yeah, so we still feel like a baby of a business.
Yeah, we just hit 6 months, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's been good. So Cedar Falls, Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
We running classes. Classes have been good. We've been running. We just ran our first competition last weekend, which was super exciting. Brought Austin Gray in. He ran some camps for us.
Great.
And it's just been, it's interesting because I guess this area, Ninja, is so new to the area, right? I mean, the closest gym to us last year was, 3-4 hours away. So we had so many questions about what does a ninja competition look like? What does, what's the ninja community about? So one big thing we do is just try to, with our staffing and how we run open gyms, is like try to bring that fun, playful demeanor to the ninja gym. It's you versus the obstacles, not you versus each other kind of thing. And basically just, to me, it's like almost recess as a kid. That was my favorite subject in school, right? So
I think it was probably every ninja's favorite. That or like physics or geometry or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe.
Engineering, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we just try to bring that playful attitude to our gym. Obviously with some other rules and policies you have to have, but it's been amazing to just see. I think people just get it. We're here to just get kids active in a whole new way, and people are all for it. So it's been exciting, the support we have.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear it. And I'm excited to see how it keeps growing. I've been, looking at videos and everything online of your gym. And I also really just love your color scheme because I feel like it's very different from other gyms that I've seen.
Thanks.
Yeah,
so that
thanks.
was fun. How did you come up with kind of like the whole name, like Ninja U and like everything that you created there?
Yeah.
I think the name came from a family card trip. We literally just generated as many names as we possibly could in a spiral notebook and just kept editing from there and asking for opinions. And it's located on University Avenue, and the gym's name is Ninja U. And so it kind of stemmed from that a little bit, kind of shortened from Ninja University to Ninja U. And
we also have a local university in town, University of Northern Iowa. So we initially kind of thought maybe we could play off some of that. Maybe our classes would be freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Then we thought, no, we're not going to go down that path. But it's also, people ask us what the U stands for, and we never really officially have said, because it could be Ninja University, but it's also kind of a play on words. Like, it's you as the ninja. It's you versus the obstacles. And I don't know, we all kind of just liked it. But with the color scheme you mentioned, I mean, the classics are obviously red, white, and blue. That's easy to get obstacles in. That's easy to get pads in, right? But we wanted to be different. And then, I really love the red and black scheme, which is what Backyard Ninja Kids is what I've been touting for the last couple of years. And but there's a lot of red and black gyms, and I've always loved Ninja Intensity and some of those other gyms, but we just wanted to be different. And I think it was my wife that came up with this color scheme, and kind of came up with what would you call that? Like a little idea board, if you will, of what the gym could look like with the lobby and chairs and like the stuff I would have put at the bottom of the list. And like, I'm not thinking about chairs in the lobby, right? As a ninja, I'm thinking about the obstacles and what the trussing is going to look like. But she just kind of put this storyboard together, if you will, and it was like, wow, that's it. She nailed it. So it's just kind of fun to see how it all kind of came together, and that's kind of how the scheme came to be. And now now it's kind of our identity, and we love it.
Awesome. Yeah, I thought it looked really cool. And I also noticed on, I think it was either the devil steps or like where you have your doorknobs, it almost looks like paint splatter or something. Like on, Yeah, I'm an artist, so these are the things that I notice. I'm like,
That's awesome.
I noticed the colors and the paint splatter.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's funny because we have a birthday party room upstairs above our lobby, and we kind of splattered some of those obstacles. We thought it'd be fun for the party room, and we actually had one of our employees, Eric Totten, right, from Monstro Hold, helped give us that design. We gave him the dimensions. He sent us the design. And we had one of our employees cut it up, and he's like, hey, I'm just going to paint it too. And he ended up splattering it. And we're like, wow, that looks fantastic, actually. I was going to just keep it solid black so it looked, almost cleaner. But no, I love the splatter as well. And those are just the little details that, kind of bring the fun of the gym. Yeah.
Yeah, I love creative gyms, but that's probably also very much my personality. I just I feel inspired when the gym, looks really clean, or it just has like your gym just has something unique about it. It almost it speaks to you differently as you're training. And it's you feel inspired in a different way.
Yeah.
At least that's how I feel when I'm training at different gyms.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's almost trying not to take it too far, right? And we have one red hold, and you're like, oh, it can't be red.
I could ruin it.
We're going to have to order a custom yellow one because that drives me crazy now.
Yeah, I'm sure I'd feel the same way. Yeah, it's I have a little Monstro rig here at my house that Eric Totten from Monstro built for me, and he was like, well, what colors do you want? And I was like, I get to pick. I was so excited. And so awesome. I just have the natural wood, and then all the resin was poured with a very light colored purple or a light blue with the darker color mixed in. So everything is swirled. It's those light colors, and I just loved it. I was like, Eric, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's an awesome setup right above your doorway there, and you have all kinds of perfect training tools right there.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Seriously though, but anybody who's ever looking for, custom stuff like that, it's pretty easy to figure out where in your house you can build it if you just get creative. And luckily, my landlord doesn't mind that I have that there, so it's fine. But you can always order stuff from Monstro. We actually have a Ninjababes discount code. So if you use the code Ninjababes, you get, I think it's 15% off your order. Just throwing that out there. But
jackpot, yeah.
There's so many, I just love how many creative ways there are to train. And here in Jersey, we have a lot of ninja gyms. But I know in Iowa, it's wild to me to think of having to drive 3 or 4 hours to get to a gym. So it's awesome that you built one, and now your training is literally your backyard, or from your literal backyard to your own figurative backyard.
Right. So my kids still asked if we could build a tunnel underneath the city to the ninja gym so they could go without mom having to drive them. And they're like, who do we need to talk to in the city to do that? I was like, I don't know, buddy.
Elon Musk and the Boring Company.
Oh man. That would have been perfect, though. That's a great idea.
Yeah, right? It shouldn't be too expensive.
The ninja tunnel. You could run through it, get your cardio on the run through the tunnel, and then start training.
It's perfect.
I'm down. So tell me more about your gym, and just what's the mindset in your programming? I'm assuming you have classes with girls and boys together, and just this is, in Ninjababes, we love talking about empowerment and equality and all those good things, but I love more talking about how it's tangibly played out. And even a few podcasts ago, I was talking to Sarah Schobeck, and she was sharing a lot about her own kids and just ways that she sees her girls are strong. And there's even been times when she was at the park with her girls, and there was a little boy who got upset that her daughter had beat him at a race or whatever it was. And he got really angry and pushed her down. And he just was very upset to be beat by a girl. And I'm just, I think about stuff like that all the time. Just how are we portraying, girls, how are we portraying to our kids or to the kids that we teach and we work with, to see each other equally, but to support one another, boys supporting girls, girls supporting boys, not seeing it as a gender thing, but just as your friend, your teammate, somebody that you want to, uphold and train together with.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that at your gym, and how do you both, even as parents, feel about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, part of that stems back to I was just thinking the gender differences, like there's very few sports where, you train together. There's maybe track or cross country, you're on the track together. But other than that, like, boys and girls generally don't train together because they're maybe different sports. But yeah, the ninja community, we absolutely train together. We have it's not gender specific. It's we kind of have our classes grouped together by age and abilities. So we have like elementary beginner, we have elementary intermediate, junior beginner, junior intermediate, right? Adult, and then we have teen kids.
And preschool.
Oh, and preschoolers. You can't forget about preschoolers. And we also run some homeschool programming, but we don't break it down into genders. And it's great to see. Just, I don't know. Again, it's like the camaraderie around. It's not just a boy thing. It's not just a girl thing, and especially depending on ages, it's interesting to see how they deal with that during practice. But we really have never ran into any kind of issues like that of pushing each other down at the park. But just to see them encourage each other and cheer for each other, and I think it's a beautiful thing. In fact, our team program has more girls than boys in it, which is exciting. I love that. And at our last competition, it was also awesome to see that for the 9 and under specifically, I remember my son Jason took first place, and then because of UNAA rules, we were at a UNAA competition. You do split up boys and girls, but we ran, the leaderboard showed every kid 9 and under, and I know for sure second and third place were girls, and I don't remember on down from there even, but so it was just cool to see, like, that gender equality, how they can push each other, it's cool.
Another thing that besides even just gender equality, at our gym, we run a lot of the classes with a fairly wide age range other than like preschool. Like Scott said, we have like elementary beginner and elementary intermediate. And so even there's kids that are 6 training with kids that are 11, and some gyms might kind of like not do it that way, but we have found that it works really well. A couple of reasons. Some families that have multiple kids in that elementary age range can send their kids both to the same class, and they really like that. But I also think it pushes the younger ones to look up to the bigger kids and want to do what they do, boy, girl, 5th grade, 6th grader, whatever. Like, it's just, everybody is kind of helping each other get better and work harder and look what they can do. I want to do that. And so we really like having a wide age range in each group and having boys and girls together. I think it just works really well that way. We also do a family class. So like a whole family can take a class together. Like we've got, like a dad that takes a class with his kids, and we've got a mom that takes a class with her daughter, and they all do it together. And that has been really fun too. So it's neat to have the wide variety, I think.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And I know, I'm sure there are other gyms that do this as well, but I do know that Obstacle Academy in Minnesota does some similar things with classes, not necessarily by age, but by skill level. And I think that's really interesting because it even if you're taking a class and you're a little bit older or a little bit younger than the kids in your group, if you're truly at the same skill level, I think it's an interesting way to hone in on your skills together, because you're not looking at each other like, oh, you're a little kid or you're whatever age and I'm just better than you because I'm older than you. No, it's like teaching you the respect of like, what are you actually capable of doing? How can I learn from you based on your ability, not based on any other discriminating factor? So I think it's cool to have classes like that.
I have a fun story too, kind of about the girls beating boys. So when we did American Ninja Warrior Junior, we filmed it in LA, and it was last summer. Mm-hmm. And our oldest got to be his turn, and he was set to run against a girl. And it was his first time going. So, we were just talking about how shy he was, and this is his first thing. And we were all nervous, but it was really exciting. And he did a great job on his course. His episode is aired, so I can say this. But he did a great job. But he gets to the end of the course, and the warped wall was the very end of it. And he hadn't really been around a warped wall much. We didn't have our gym open at the time that we filmed the episode. And it took him a couple tries to get up the warped wall. And in the meantime, the girl he was competing against, it was a race, because that's how the American Ninja Warrior Junior does it. It was a race. So the girl passed him and hit the buzzer first. And so everybody obviously cheered for him, and everybody beat that wall and all that stuff. So it was great. But he comes around the corner from behind the warped wall, and we're standing right there. And he has just tears running down his face. And the cameras are on him. And I'm like, oh, like my first instinct was, oh my gosh, he's so mad. I hope he's not sad he got beat, like what is going through his head,
Yeah.
He's just bawling. And I was like, buddy, it's okay. You did great. And he goes, I'm just so happy I beat the warped wall. And he wasn't sad. Like he lost. He was actually just happy tears. Like he beat the warped wall.
Tears of joy.
Of course. Yeah. Never once did he mention that like he got beat by a girl. He ran 3 races, 2 against the same girl, and all 3 of them he got beat by a girl. And he never once said anything about like, oh, I got beat by a girl or anything like that. And I was just hoping like after his episode ran last week that his friends or maybe people at school or people in our circle wouldn't say something like, oh, you got beat by a girl. And I was just hoping and praying nobody said that. And I really never have. I didn't hear anything. Did you, Scott? And I just love that. Like, I just feel like we just hopefully are getting to the day and age. That's not even a thing that anybody thinks anymore. That's my hope anyway.
Yeah. That's a cool story. I did see that run. That's awesome that, the tears of joy, that's such a cool thing. And even just what we were talking about before of like having the mindset of it's us against the course. And even though juniors filmed like team, like a race,
yes.
It's cool to still look at it from that perspective and like feel that accomplishment of like, I made it up the wall. And like, that's what you focus on. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
So I know your daughter's only 4, but do you think that she will also follow in the ninja footsteps, or does she seem to have her own flair of something different?
She is totally ninja. Like, it's just hilarious. She is ninja 100%. We asked her what she wants to be when she grows up, and what was her answer, Scott? Did she just say, and I think she just said a ninja like Ben and Jason.
Yeah, she wanted to be a ninja like Ben and Jason when she grows up.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she loves it. I think the minute we started doing it in the backyard, she was all in with the boys. It really has never been something that we can even separate her from, because she wants to do it all. Scott, even when she was, I think, less than a year old, Scott would put her up on the pull-up bar in our doorway, and she would hang, and he would just hold her there and let her see how long she could hang. And I don't know if she was just born with the gene just because she's Scott's child, or if it's just, the way our family is now, that's what we love, that she just loves it too. But yeah, you should see her at the gym. She's just a hoot.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
But she does put her own flair in it. Like, there's outfits, and like she has to wear certain ninja clothes when she goes to the gym. And yeah, it's great.
Oh, I love that. So I'm just wondering, and you can take this as a ninja question or like a general life question, but do you have any other advice for parents dealing with kids, or I shouldn't say dealing. Do you have any other
dealing
do you have any other advice for parents, how they raise their kids, even just teaching your kids how to have a strong mindset and be confident, believe in themselves, but be unique? Like what advice might you have for other parents?
Yeah, I think that's just it. Like, let your kid be your kid. Let them be them. Like, as a parent, I actually was struggling with, Ben was so shy. He loved playing drums at home, right? And at Grandpa and Grandma's house. And he was pretty good, but he didn't want to sign up for lessons for anything. He was great at all the sports in the backyard, but he didn't want to sign up for anything. And it was to the point where I was like asking my friends, like, what do you think? I mean, should I just sign him up and see if I'm sure he's going to like it eventually, because I was the kid that my mom put me in everything, because otherwise I'd probably drive her crazy. My boys were athletic enough, and, we were just trying to figure that all out. And now I'm just thinking, man, if I would have forced him down the path of another sport, would we have ever got into Ninja Warrior, to be honest? And now just to see, like Lindsey was sharing earlier, like to see them open up and be who they are now, it's just so, I mean, that's what you want as a parent, is to see your kids shine in what they're gifted at. And it's just it's a beautiful thing when it just they come to life.
I'd like along that line, like definitely don't push them. Like if they don't seem like they don't want to do a sport or don't want to do a thing at school, like that's okay. Like we're kind of an introverted family, and realizing that and being okay with that and knowing that that transfers to our kids is something we just had to recognize. And the other thing I would say is like every kid is different. So just because our oldest one, doesn't take criticism well or doesn't seem to be like a coachable type kid sometimes, like it doesn't mean that the next kid or the third kid, fourth, however many you have, aren't going to be that way. I think you just really have to go with trial and error on parenting a lot. We try it out. If it doesn't work, try something else and let them fail. Like don't protect them from that, because I think failing, even that applies to ninja obstacles too, but just in life, failing at something is such a learning experience. I would not be the person I am without the failures I've made in my life. So
yeah, and I think that's exactly what Ninja's great at, right? I say this often at the gym when people are getting frustrated. I'm like, hey, have you ever seen the show American Ninja Warrior? Yeah. Did you know everyone has fallen in the water that's been on that show? Like every single person's been in the water. And not to mention how many times they failed in their home gyms where they practice. Just to see kids being too shy to even try an obstacle at the gym sometimes because they're afraid to fail. And I just think it's just so beautiful to see Ninja Warrior be a tool really to teach these kids how to conquer obstacles in their lives and learn how to fail. And it's okay to fail. And next time you'll know more. And I think that's just such great life lessons in a sport. I mean, it's so cool to see. I don't know, the kids like really start opening up of like, my favorite, I think, is the warped wall, right? Because the kids love the warped walls and they sprint to the warped walls when it's open gym time, and that's all they want to do. And some kids, I swear, will be there for 2 hours straight at the warped wall. And I wish I sometimes had like some counter of like how many times these kids hit the warped wall.
I think we can measure it in sweat, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it's just but it's amazing. And I try to encourage the kid and the parents in that, like, sometimes there's this like feeling that, kids these days just don't try hard. They don't work hard. And it's like, no, I think they just maybe haven't been shown that or had the opportunity in front of them. Like when they want that 10-foot warped wall, I've seen kids try hundreds of times within a matter of an hour.
Yeah.
I think it's just an awesome life lesson.
Oh, here's another good life lesson. Sorry, I get rolling if I think.
No, go for it.
I am a big believer in letting your kids get bored, which is maybe one reason why we didn't push a lot of classes in sports and stuff when we were little, because then they were in the backyard making obstacle courses because I wasn't giving them activities to do. There wasn't a thing to be at right after school. Let them just have freedom and space to do things like with the neighborhood kids, to be at the park, to just roam and free range, it's just one of those things that we've kind of taken away from a lot of kids in our world right now, because we have Tuesdays and Thursdays is competitive gymnastics, and Fridays and Saturdays we have traveling team XYZ, and it's just something about that just wasn't resonating with us. And I think even if you do have a kid that's already in a ninja class or doing something like that, there's a lot of benefit to actually just getting to be bored at the gym. So not just in there for their 1 hour a week, but getting them in there for open gym when they can just mess around and try something 100 times over, like Scott was saying. That's what us as adults like to do, and figure things out and not just be told what to do when we're in the gym. So I think letting your kids be bored is a huge part of their grit and self-confidence.
And creativity.
A lot
of creativity comes out of boredom.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons I love Ninja is just that opportunity for creativity, whether you're literally building obstacles and creating new obstacles or just taking the equipment and what's available to you at the gym and stringing together a new line of obstacles, or like, how can I do this move differently?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Jamie Ron was just here in New Jersey teaching a set of workshops, conditioning with the captain.
Yeah.
And they're awesome. And one of the drills he had us do was basically just, we're all standing at the quad steps, which are pretty straightforward for the most part. Everyone's probably done them a million times. But he said, we're going to go in a line and we're just going to keep going. I want to see how many different ways we can each do the quad steps, and you can't repeat what somebody else has done.
Oh.
And I was like, all right, like, let's see. Okay. And so we got going, and like, once everyone had gone through the regular ones of like, okay, I'm going to one step all of them, or okay, I'll just hop on my left foot, or I'm just going to sprint down the left side or whatever. Like, once we kind of got through the simple, if you want to say, like the straightforward ones, people were like, okay, well, I'm going to do a 360 spin on every step. Or I had one where I was like, I'm going to yell caca and like wave my arms like between each step like I'm a flying bird, or like, people are just like making up silly stuff, but it really did make you think like, how else could I possibly do this? And there's got to be like an infinite number of ways. Yeah, just like that practice of creativity, and let alone strategizing. That's so important for ninjas, to be able to see things from different perspectives and find new ways to do a similar obstacle. But just that basic skill of creativity, I think, is sometimes a lost art in our world. So it's good to have a tangible way to do that. And even in a sport, like, I think that's so cool.
Absolutely. And I'm excited to see you yell caca this year on American Ninja Warrior season 11 down the first obstacle there. So
okay,
we'll be ready for it.
You better be in the audience for that one.
I guarantee you, they will show your run.
It's true.
Yeah, maybe that's a good tip there. Nobody steal my idea.
Now that you've done all of this research and kind of gathering information for girls in the sport of ninja, do you have any suggestions for us as Leah gets older? She's only 4 right now, but I still want to be instilling like good self-confidence and like life isn't about how beautiful you are. So tell me what things you've learned that we could pass on to Leah.
Yes, absolutely. I think that I have learned a lot about just being able to give kids exposure to different opportunities and to just realize their potential. And so kind of along the lines of what you were mentioning before, like not boxing them in of what their own potential could be. So giving them tons of new experiences to be able to realize their potential and realize like, oh, I don't have to just do, these typical things that girls have always done. Like, I can be an athlete. I can, get dirty and like be outside and climbing trees all day. Like, I can do whatever I want to do because I'm capable. I have the ability. And I just think showing, especially young girls or like whatever age, but showing girls that they have the ability to do whatever they would like to do. And just not setting anything up like, this is for boys, this is for girls. I grew up with 2 older brothers. And so that in some ways, like the lines of this is for girls, this is for boys didn't really exist in my house because I wanted to do whatever my brothers were doing and my mom would let me for the most part. And so I think for me that really did instill in me the spirit of, well, yes, I can do all those things that are like quote unquote girly things, or I can do what my brothers are doing because that actually looks a lot more fun or it's something that I'd rather be doing. And I was free to do that. I wasn't confined to one thing or another. So I think just that ability to try new things and not feel limited, but also just in language and how you speak to her. I'm sure you're a great mom, and I'm sure you definitely tell her positive things and like speak to her in a way that would be like uplifting her. But also, like, I was one of those high school girls that struggled with having negative body image, but to the extreme of wanting to not eat in order to manipulate my body weight, that sort of thing. And so one thing that I struggled with when I was growing up was I felt like people were always complimenting me on how thin I was. And it was kind of like a combination of, someone would meet me, whether it was like at church or at school or like at a family function or whatever. And I would be introduced and they'd be like, oh, this is Cara. And then it felt like the automatic response to someone meeting me was always like, you're so thin, you're so pretty. And those might sound like positive things, but in my brain that translated to me as, okay, I am beautiful because I am skinny. If I ever gain weight,
Right.
I am as ugly as anything. So I better not gain
Right.
any weight. Like that was just ingrained in my brain for as long as I could remember.
Yeah. Kind of fueled your fire
Yeah.
for what you were.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so like, I think this is, I guess, a little bit of a tangent, but I think for me, when I was going from high school transitioning to college, I was terrified of the thought of freshman 15 and like gaining 15 pounds going into college. And so that's why I kind of backed myself into the corner of like wanting to really, really control and manipulate my weight, because I was terrified that if I gained weight, I was just going to be ugly. And obviously that's a lie and that's not true, but that's that like in my brain, like that's what I had learned from growing up, and that's just what I thought was true. So, you know, how you speak to your kids is so important, girls or boys. But for your little girl, absolutely. I mean, tell her she's beautiful, but don't make that contingent upon anything else in her life. You know, make that the fact that she herself is a beautiful individual, or she herself is a strong individual. She herself is worthy of being respected and honored just because she is, not because of anything she's done or anything that she could present about herself, you know? So,
Yeah, we often tell our kids, remind our kids and ourselves that words are powerful, and in the tone of your words are powerful, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's I love the story that you just shared, because it's such a good reminder of like sometimes you think you're saying the right thing and it's so hurtful and damaging. Yeah, it's just words are powerful.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I would have never, in the moment, thought about it as hurtful, because sure, you're telling me that I'm thin, which is, I guess, a fact, but you're also, you know, you're telling me I'm pretty, like that's nice too. But it was like the repetitive sense of like, that's all I felt like I ever heard. And then I became convinced, because it was so frequent, that like, that's what it meant to be beautiful, was to be thin. So, you know, exactly what you're saying, the power of words and just the power of like how you speak to people. And you know, I'm a huge believer in like the power of our names too. So on the flip side, not something negative, but something positive. Like my name is Cara. My name means friend or beloved, but I always think about how my name means friend in Italian. And so when I would like my parents had given me one of those name cards that just has like the meaning of your name with like, I think mine had like a scripture verse or something on it, but I had that on my mirror. So growing up as a kid, I always saw Cara with the word friend, like Cara means friend. And so I would read that every single day. And then I got that ingrained in my mind of like, I am a friend, like I am a friend, like I am a person who is a friend. And so I just always like wanted to be a good friend, and I always like wanted to kind of like take care of the friends around me. And I often have actually thought about that with Ninjababes, because like I always wanted to have sisters and I didn't have sisters. And I always say like now I feel like I have sisters all over the world because of Ninjababes. But I feel like it's just another extension of me like wanting to be a good friend to my sister, like wanting to support the girls in my life and the girls that I've never met who listen to this podcast. And so like that though, I absolutely think is, you know, I saw my name and I saw the word friend every single day as a child. And I just was like, I'm a friend and I'm going to be a good friend. So it's like that power of words can go either way, positive or negative. And so even just speaking to your kids every day and saying like, I am so proud of you and you are fill in the blank, like however you see your kid, like just to remind them that that's who they are.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. Well, I'm so excited to have had Lindsey and Scott on the podcast today. It's been awesome talking to you both. And I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to edit this episode and get it up online. Thank you again. Good luck to everything that you're doing. And it's been great having you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It's been great having you. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Cara.
Thank you. See you, Cara.
Bye. There are more ways that you can be involved with the Ninjababes community. Check out theninjababes.com to read blog posts by Janelle Copa, and DM me or email me to submit Ninjababes photos if you and your friends want to be featured on the Ninjababes on Instagram. We're also currently setting up some regional groups for Ninjababes hangouts, training sessions, and workshops. Right now, the first one being organized is in the Philly, New York City region. It's a closed group on Facebook, So make sure you like the Ninjababes Facebook page, and then you'll be able to request access to join. I'm so excited to start posting events there for May and the summer, so get plugged in. Another cool thing is on the Ninjababes YouTube channel, there is a Power of Your Words video that I posted about a week or so ago that coincides with this podcast episode. So if you'd like to learn more about how your words are impactful on your life and on your body image, check it out. And while you're over there on the Ninjababes YouTube channel, give a thank you to our sponsors by watching the Sleep Ovation for Ninjababes videos. And if it's something you're interested in, use that link posted with the video to check out Sleep Ovation's mattresses and receive $400 off your order with code Ninjababes, all caps. Thanks for listening. Keep crushing it. And remember, be strong, be you, be a Ninja Babe.